Polly P works here. So, based on the current events that have been going on in the new Egghead arc, and by saying there's a new arc, I'm saying please be wary because spoilers ahead. We find out that Jory Bonnie's father is Bartholomew Kuma. I am going to go out on a limb and say Bonnie, as she is now, could have some parallels with the fairy tale known as Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now, before you jump into the comments, let me explain. I do know that her name, at least, is based off of the real life pirate Anne Bonny. However, I think based on how the story is unfolding, there are some slight parallels with the fairy tale as opposed to the times and adventures of the pirates and Bonnie. Now, with that being said, the fairy tale Goldilocks and the Three Bears, which I didn't know, but thank you Wikipedia, has had three major versions. The first version is called The Story of the Three Bears, which is a 19th century British fairy tale. And in that original version, it entails of an old woman breaking into a house owned by three bachelor bears. She eats some porridge, she sits down on their chairs, breaks them, and sleeps in one of their beds. Okay? The bears come home and discover her. She wakes up and jumps out of the window, never to be seen again. Again, that version of the story is about an old woman. Very interesting. The second version of the story is just that, but the woman, the old woman, is replaced with a girl, as we know as Goldilocks. Okay? And the same events happen. The third version, and the best known version, details that the bears are a father, mother, and baby bear, and then things play out as you know them to play out. Now, what's interesting about this is that going off the original version and sort of mixing and matching it with the current version, okay, we have an old woman who is then turned into a young girl, which is some overlap with Bonnie's powers. And then we have the three bears. Since originally all three bears were male, that plays into our discussion very well here. Because if you break things down, there are technically three Kumas at this moment in time, as far as 1063 is concerned. So we have the original Kuma, meaning the Kuma, the terror, the tyrant, the member of the warlords, the former officer of the Revolutionary Army, the former king of the Sorbet Kingdom, which is also a very interesting thing that we'll get into. But, okay, that Kuma, the father of Jory Bonnie, that Kuma specifically is one Kuma. Okay? All of that, one Kuma. The second Kuma is all of the Pacifista models. So the ones we see in Marineford, the ones we see attack the Straw Hats at Shabani Archipelago, the RoboCop Kuma that we see in 1063. All of those Kumas, I'm going to say, are one Kuma because they're all Pacifista models. Now, these two Kumas are adults, right? You have the adult base Kuma, and then the Pacifista models that are based off of that adult base Kuma. Then you have the PX Seraphim model, which is totally different from the other two. And this is based off of a younger Kuma. This is based off of a teen and or child Kuma. And we can tell this because this version of Kuma has a very soft baby chin. He doesn't have the huge man chin that Kuma has always been known for having, even before his whole roboticization thing. In Bonnie's small little flashback, we see that he's always had the big chin as an adult. Big chin Kuma all day, every day. So this Seraphim Kuma is a young Kuma. Therefore, you have adult bear, and baby bear lines up with both versions of the fairy tale, because you have three different bears, technically a person and a robot and a mutant, I guess, in the Seraphim's case. And there are adult bear, and younger bear. Then with Bonnie, you have, with her abilities, you have her as an old woman actually have an identity as Kuma's mother, or the queen in waiting, I believe it's called, of the Sorbet Kingdom. So her as an old woman is technically a separate identity, much like how the fairy tale started off with starring an old woman. And then we know the young girl, because she normally is a 20 something year old woman and can become younger. So both of those individuals are your present day Goldilocks. And even though Bonney does not have gold hair, she does have a golden anti eyebrow. That is a type of lock. It's like a half hoop, which you can call a lock, and it's gold. So Goldie Lock. I know that's a cop out, but it kind of makes you think. Okay, so to review, you have 3 bears, the pacifistas, Kuma and the Seraphim, 2 adult bears, and then a younger bear. And then you have Bonney representing the 2 different versions of Goldilocks and the various versions of the fairy tale, the old woman and then the younger girl. Also, Bonney, like all 3 women in all 3 versions of the fairy tale, is a voracious eater. That's the main point of all 3 women. They eat the bear's porridge, right? Also, when talking about porridge, Bonney is from the Sorbet Kingdom. Porridge is often notated as a hot food, and sorbet is a cold food. Both can be made of milk. I know that's like the weakest point, but I'm going with it. And with that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. If you like stuff like this, please feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Polly P Works. And if you like what you see, I would appreciate your subscription. Thank you so much. See you next time.